This isn't just baseball. This is New York. This is legacy in motion. The Yankees front office is executing a double strike, one move to fortify the present and another hidden maneuver that could shape the postseason and alter the future of a young cornerstone. The chessboard is alive. Pieces sliding rapidly. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the inside details of this unfolding strategy. What's good, Yanks Nation? Welcome back to the channel, the home of scorching updates and the sharpest breakdowns on our Bronx Bombers. We're entering the final stretch of August 2025, and every decision, every transaction, every adjustment carries monumental weight. The atmosphere has shifted. You can almost taste October in the air. The postseason storm is brewing, and the front office is meticulously working behind the curtain to arm us with every weapon necessary for the October battlefield. Today, I've got two massive storylines that could reshape our roster. One about a reinforcement set to rejoin the fight, and another about a familiar face suddenly tossed back onto the market. Both threads reveal volumes about Brian Cashman's overarching blueprint to secure title number 28. One is a piece we've already acquired who's finally ready to contribute. The other is a potential reunion that forces us into an uncomfortable but vital discussion about one of the most critical positions on the diamond. So grab your coffee, settle in, because we're about to dissect the pros, the cons, and the true meaning of these moves for the pinstripes. The margin for error is gone. Every front office decision could be the razor's edge between a parade in November or an abrupt early exit. First, the reinforcement. Relief at last, the return we've been waiting for. Austin Slater, the outfielder snagged at the trade deadline, is officially beginning his rehab assignment. This is a shot of adrenaline for our depth chart. Let's revisit the Slater deal. We acquired him from the Chicago White Sox, sending young righty Gage Zale the other way. At the time, it felt like a pragmatic move, adding a right-handed bat and defensive reliability to an outfield desperate for reinforcements. Slater barely had time to break in his pinstripes before disaster struck. 3 games, a lone RBI, and 4 strikeouts before a hamstring strain sidelined him during the Rangers series. The prognosis, 4 to 6 weeks. But here's the good news. Less than 4 weeks later, he's already ahead of schedule, set to begin his rehab with Scranton Yarn Wilkes Barre. That's not just recovery, that's resilience. His comeback couldn't be better timed. Why so crucial? Because of the gaping hole left by Aaron Judge's absence from the outfield. While Judge has been devastating as a DH, the void in right field has rippled through the roster. Giancarlo Stanton has been forced into action out there, and every fan in the bleachers knows the risk. That injury history makes every sprint a gamble. The domino effect has pushed Cody Bellinger and Amed Rosario into roles outside their wheelhouse, while Oswaldo Cabrera's injury only deepened the instability. Slater's return fixes all of that. A true outfielder, a steady glove. His presence frees Stanton to remain the powerhouse DH, reducing risk while maximizing output. Bellinger and Rosario return to their strengths, bolstering the bench and gifting Aaron Boone more tactical flexibility late in games. Offensively, Slater won't carry the lineup, but he doesn't need to. His .236/.299/.423/ line with 5 homers in 51 games is exactly the kind of complementary production that lengthens a lineup already stacked with Judge Juan Soto and company. We're not asking for fireworks, just professional at-bats and reliable defense. That stability alone deepens this roster and sharpens it for October. It's the definition of a low-risk, high-reward move. Now, the shocker. From the grass to the dirt, the second headline hit like a thunderclap. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has been designated for assignment by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yes, IKF, a name Yankees fans know well, for better or worse. Reports confirm he's hitting waivers available for the taking, and while we need him to clear nearly the entire league before landing in our lap, the door is cracked open. What makes this fascinating is that IKF was already on the Yankees' radar as a possible trade target. before the deadline when the team was desperate for third base help. This year in Pittsburgh, he's been exactly who he is. Hitting .268 with a .304 OBP and a .337 slugging percentage. 35 RBIs, 1 homer across 117 games. Not flashy, not explosive, but steady. Contact first, limited power, and trademark defensive versatility. And this is where the conversation turns unavoidable. His availability drags us right into the heart of the Anthony Volpe question at shortstop.
Our young shortstop, the kid we've invested so much belief in, is enduring a brutal campaign. Offensively, he's slashing just .227, .271, .397, and the glove has been an even bigger concern. He owns the second most errors among all shortstops in the league. Fans and analysts alike are calling for a AAA reset, or at minimum, a move to the bench. Yet manager Aaron Boone has repeatedly, publicly reinforced his faith in Volpe's place in the lineup. That conviction would be tested by a potential IKF addition. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is the ideal safety net. He doesn't have to be the everyday starter, but his presence changes the calculus. He can enter as a late-game defensive closer to protect leads, an area where Volpe has wobbled. Buy the kid a few days to clean up his mechanics without game pressure, or, if the struggles persist, take the reins for a stretch with premium. Defense and a steady, if light, bat. Zoom out because the Slater news and a Kiner-Falefa claim aren't isolated blips. They're two sides of the same Brian Cashman blueprint: relentless depth and risk mitigation for the stretch run. Championships aren't built solely on supernovas like Judge and Soto. They're secured by the right role players who execute flawlessly when October tightens the screws. Austin Slater is the archetype of a proactive move. The front office identified an outfield weakness amplified by Judge's injury and paid a real price. Prospect Gage Zill at the deadline to address it. His return is the dividend on that investment, a reliable defensive solution that lets the rest of the puzzle, Stanton's included, slot into ideal roles. It's a chess move that protects your crown pieces and optimizes the lineup for postseason baseball. That's a quintessential win-now decision. Kiner-Falefa, by contrast, is opportunistic. He wasn't Plan A, but his sudden appearance on waivers creates a low-cost, low-risk lever to pull. The cash outlay is minimal, a prorated league minimum deal. The real cost is philosophical. What message does it send to Anthony Volpe, the franchise's young face, if you bring back the very shortstop he replaced? You can frame it as undercutting confidence, or as adding a veteran mentor to accelerate growth. Here's the truth. The Yankees are in win-now mode. Player development matters, but Banner 28 is the top priority. If shortstop instability is judged a potential October fatal flaw, the front office is obligated to act. IKF becomes an insurance policy against late-inning miscues and against a black hole at the bottom of the order. Think back to past championship runs. They always featured pivotal role players, Scott Brosius, even Bucky Dent, guys who weren't the brightest stars, but were relentlessly dependable and clutch. The hope is that Slater can be that stabilizer in the outfield, the The question is whether IKF can mirror that in the infield. Clearly, the front office is scenario planning every angle to make this roster as bulletproof as possible, layering redundancy and versatility across the board. Bottom line, these two moves strengthen the Yankees in different but complementary ways at the season's most consequential juncture. Slater's return is an unambiguous positive. Early, timely, and directly responsive to a need. He fortifies the outfield, gives Boone real matchup flexibility, especially with Giancarlo Stanton, and deepens the roster without downside. It's reinforcements from within, arriving right on cue for the October gauntlet. The Kiner-Falefa question is more nuanced and, frankly, more fascinating. Ignoring an elite glove available for next to nothing would be hard to justify for a contender. Adding him risks denting a young cornerstone's confidence. It's the eternal tug-of-war, present versus future. Win now imperative versus development process. In a World Series or bust season, you don't leave edges on the table. An IKF on the bench is a luxury few teams possess. A late-game defensive weapon that can swing a series. Now I want to hear from you. The real Yanks Nation. The bleacher creatures who live and breathe this team. Should Brian Cashman put in a waiver claim for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa? Is it time to give Volpe serious competition? Or a seasoned mentor? Or do we ride with the kid through the turbulence? And what are your realistic expectations for Austin Slater's return? Can he be the steadying force the outfield needs? Drop your takes in the comments. I read everyone, and I value your insight. For the fastest, deepest Bronx Bombers analysis, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're in the home stretch, and you won't want to miss a second of the march toward Title 28. Yankees fans, can you even fathom enduring deep personal grief and still etching your name into team history? That's exactly what Jazz Chisholm Jr., our fiery second baseman, accomplished. In Game 2 against the Chicago White Sox, he didn't just play, he dazzled. During Ryan McMahon's 6-pitch battle at the plate, Chisholm swiped his 25th bag of the season, officially joining the prestigious 25-25 club, a milestone achieved by only 6 other Yankees legends before him. Bobby Bonds, Ricky Henderson, Alfonso Soriano, Alex Rodriguez, and Curtis Granderson. It's the kind of historic feat that makes fans leap to their feet, heart-pounding, reminded of why we bleed pinstripes. But here's the kicker. Chisholm was carrying heartbreak. He'd just lost a close friend. And yet, through that cloud of pain, he delivered one of his finest weeks of baseball. 6 hits, 4 homers, 8 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. For 2025, his tally now sits at 26 home runs, 25 stolen bases, and a .240. 39,490/line. Add in his 130 WRC plus and 4 WAR, and Fangraphs ranks him just behind Ketel Marte in the American League, but ahead of every other second baseman. That's elite company. Every swing, every steal, Every spark he ignites reshapes this team's confidence. Chisholm isn't just padding stats. He's injecting energy, speed, and raw power into the Yankees' very identity. He embodies what it means to not merely win games, but to build a winning culture. And he doesn't hide behind cliches either. He declared with fiery conviction, "We are never satisfied with second or third place. We lost the World Series last year, and that wasn't enough. So finishing second or third in the division. That would be even more frustrating than losing the World Series." That's not just talk, it's attitude. It's the relentless hunger that defines what it means to wear the navy, white and interlocking NY. Imagine the ripple effect this has throughout the season, with Chisholm leading. By fearless example, every pitch, every swing, every stolen base carries amplified weight. The division crown is within reach if that fire spreads, or it could all unravel without it. So, Yankees fans, I ask you, will Jazz Chisholm Jr. transform this turbulent, emotionally heavy season into a campaign for the ages? Is this the year he cements himself as the cornerstone capable of carrying us back to the Fall Classic? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because here, every fan's voice matters. But another burning question haunts the Bronx. How much longer can Anthony Volpe remain the everyday shortstop? Every game feels like a trial by fire. Now, in his third season, Volpe is slashing .207, .271, .397 with 18 homers. But his 18 errors nearly double what's tolerable at the position. Patience is running thin. Fans and analysts have debated his place for months, and just as doubt swells, an unexpected twist emerges. The Pittsburgh Pirates release Kiner-Falefa. Thank you guys, see you next video.